Hello, everybody. Anthony from Traders Ultimate Edge here. Let's look at the markets today. Oops. All right, we'll go over here to the ES, up 1.17% today. So nice move up. You can see I had these two areas listed as resistance, and we bounced between them right there at the end of the day. These were the highs from the second and third. So that was Thursday and Friday last week. Those are going to continue to serve as resistance. Resistance or support going forward here into tomorrow. I really wouldn't be surprised if it just kind of bounces around in this range overnight. I like the move up here today. We, of course, at the very beginning of the day, and this is on the 15-minute, look at this crazy candle from the very beginning of the day. Let's jump over to the 3-minute. You can see we had this initial morning pullback right here to a 618 fib, and it just immediately bounced and launched upward off of it. That's fantastic. The pullback is really good because that kind of confirmed the move up. And I'm going to show you something that the ES does right here. This can help you with your day trading if you like to day trade the ES. On the 3-minute here, see how you have this second engulfing candle after the doji. Well, it's not entirely a doji, but it's got a wick on both ends like that. Kind of starting to look like one. With a higher low, that is very indicative on the ES of a move up. I mean, that's just kind of technicals as well. That can be used on any stock, but the ES does it all the time. That's why I pointed out. And we'll go here and look in the 1-minute version, and you see the same thing here. This candle. I forget what they call that, but it is a bullish candle. And then this push up here on the second one with a higher low in this double bottom. This is really, really something the ES does a lot. So take a look at that formation for my clients. Take a look at this and kind of commit that to memory. The ES does it a lot. All right. So anyway, the ES looks really good here, continuing upwards. And as I told everybody on the text message this morning that I sent out, the real early one about an hour before the market opened, I think now we start to look towards the Fed meeting rather than COVID. Now, here's the reason I say that. A lot of people have already sold out that were frightened over COVID, and they're out of the market. So now I think it's the rest of us that are all in here playing, right? The weekends are gone, and the rest of us are in here playing with it. And we all understand that the Omicron isn't something to fear. Even Fauci came out over the weekend and said, it looks like it's going to be pretty mild, something to that effect. So I think that pricing is kind of getting baked into the market here, although I think there's a lot of coronavirus upside because all these people have sold out their retirement accounts or whatever, and now they're still sitting out of the market. And whenever they pile back in, we should get a nice sustained grind upwards for a couple of days, right? The same thing we saw where it was a move downwards for a few days. We should see if you move upwards for a few days. I don't know if that comes immediately or if it takes a little while. Those people have to relax and become comfortable with the Omicron. All right. Now I think everybody that's in the markets now is paying attention to the Fed rather than Omicron because people in the know are looking much more towards the Fed. I saw an article come out in the WSJ this morning. I'm not sure where they got this source. This wasn't what I heard before, but the WSJ is really reliable, so I'm gonna roll with it. It said that the Fed in the meeting next week is going to consider ending their taper in March instead of June. That's a pretty aggressive acceleration. It's a pretty aggressive acceleration of the taper. Now, I mean, like me personally, I'm in favor of it, but the markets may not like that. The question is a taper that fast already built in, or is it going to cause a bit of a pullback? The real concern, though, I think, beyond the taper, the real concern, of course, is going to be interest rate increases. I think Q3 interest rate increases are baked into the market. I think, if we get an interest rate increase for July, August, or September, I think that's fine. I don't think that'll really cause a ruckus. Obviously, it will cause an initial pullback. for several reasons. I mean, you have speculators just betting the market's going to go down. You're going to have people that don't understand it's probably already baked in, just selling their stuff, that sort of thing. But I don't think it'll be long or sustained, and I think it'll get bought up if we get interest rates in Q3, if that's the scuttlebutt. If it's looking like Q2, I think that could be a little bit more problematic. I'm going to give it some more thought. I'm going to keep reading analysis, keep looking around, seeing what other people are thinking on it. And I'll give it some more thought, and I will let you guys know what I think is going to happen on that end. But so far, that's kind of my thought process at the moment. We'll look around the markets here a little bit. Oil, beautiful day, plus 5.2% over here on USO. Our USO trade's doing great. I added in shares today as well as those call spreads, and I think we're doing fantastic. Not worried at all about USO. We're also in SVIXY, which was up a bunch today, and I believe it will continue to climb. The VIX has remained elevated for multiple days now, which is really kind of odd. But I believe it will. Oops, it's not daily. Show me daily. I believe it will come back down. I believe it will in the next few days. It'll kind of drift down. You can see the P call has retreated here, and here we can see there was an initial growth or initial value buying off the open, and this could have been I don't know, maybe retail with trades set from over the weekend. Excuse me, and then the whole rest of the day growth got bought. It was all growth, so that's good. A lot of people buying back into those names. Of course, we can see Amazon and Google both kind of flew up today, so that's great. Some of our other trades did fine. Our SPY trade is doing fine. It's coming back up. So I think all is well at the moment. But that's kind of like what I'm looking for here in the market. So for the rest of this week, we have one very important report to be aware of. That is on Friday. That is the Consumer Price Index. That is really the only report this week that I care a whole lot about, and it's going to be a big one. If it shows more inflation than expected, expect a pullback. The market will pull back, and that's because they expect the Fed to raise rates sooner. If that report comes in, if it comes in at estimate, I think that's probably pretty much status quo. If it comes in low and we get a surprise and there's lower inflation, that's going to be very bullish. So that report is very important. That's coming on Friday. We really need to watch that report, all right? Okay, that's all I've got for you. I hope you all have a good evening, and take care.